All right, January 12th, time to do a Subaru update at 1,500 miles, and let's get right into it. Hola, ¿cómo está? Ya lo cambié. ¿Mande? ¿Mande? Se lo di a mi papá. Pero todo bueno, trabajando bien. Gracias. Alright, so let's get into it. I can never angle this thing right, so let me just look at this real quick. That's probably too low. Okay, so check it out. Here's all the things I learned. One is you can move this up and down. I had it way down here. That's up, okay? Another thing I learned is that you don't actually have to hold this down when you turn the car on. You could just push it one time. I didn't know this, all right? And it turns on. Let's go ahead and do the CarPlay thing. What somebody so graciously said to me, I like messing with the radio when I'm not plugged in. What somebody so graciously told me on the YouTube comments was that there is a Bluetooth connector in order to get rid of this cable thing. So I'm definitely gonna try and get that or order that online if I can remember to actually look it up whenever I whenever I get to it. So I think this video I'm gonna talk about like all the things I've learned about the car now that it's at almost 1,400 miles. It's really 1,600 miles. And yeah, so now I think that, you know, the jitters are over. When I first got the car, I really wanted to get to 1,000 miles to get to that engine breaking point and allow myself to, in my previous video, it was to slam it. And you know, that only lasts maybe like that same day. You know, I got it out of my system and it's just not practical to be driving like a maniac. It's dangerous, but the cool thing about it is like, you know, you can do that, you know, like having the ability to just turn on a dime or like, you know, like accelerate really fast. It's nice to know that. It's nice to be able to do that whenever there's oncoming traffic and you want to merge in a little sooner than you should. So I do like that. I've gotten really used to this control system. So I will say the only bad part is like you have to have very precise touching, right? Like when I first got started, like it was hard for me to actually push turn on, turn off, go left, go right. But as you get used to it, it's really great. And you know, I'm in the process of, me and my girlfriend in the process of getting her a car. And one of the things we're looking at a lot at is, damn, the sun's too strong. Oh, I have glasses. We're looking a lot at our the infotainment systems. And you know what? Like, it's really hard to find one like this. Like, unless it's like a Tesla or the, I don't know, the Mach-E, they're not gonna come in this format. They're usually half the size, they're a lot smaller, or they're oddly placed. So in comparing, obviously I haven't driven all those cars and I haven't used all those cars and I haven't sat in them and tested them out, but I definitely have fallen, I wouldn't say fallen in love, but like I am very happy that this is the specific infotainment that I got. And it wasn't like I chose it. I didn't get the base specifically because I wanted this, but you know, I guess it gives you, those are the only two options anyways. And so I'm extremely happy with this. And as far as like what you have on the display, it kind of changed for me now. I used to always have it just on the music, just so I could see what was playing. But number one, I kind of know every single song, you know, on my iPhone, on my Spotify. So like, that's not a big deal. What has, again, because of these YouTube channels, what has come to my attention is knowing the oil temperature when you want to go fast, basically, or when your car's warmed up. The water temperature thing, I don't really understand. This average speed is always 27, so I don't know if like I actually always have it at 27 or if that's just, you know, stuck in place. I haven't even like, if there's 100%, obviously, things you can do on here, I've only done like 15%. Like I really haven't messed with it. But it is nice for what I use it for, which is really just the CarPlay, which is the maps. I always have the maps open. Every now and then I'll use this thing for the messages just to speak it out to me, or I'll have it on the Spotify, but really it's just the map, the temperature, and you know, the AC and stuff. So that part I'm super happy about. One other thing that I like about the car that I've noticed is, well, I still prefer this, the trip indicator. So like, how long have you been driving, the distance. When I was going fast, or when I was slamming it, I had it on the gauge. But it's actually hard to pay attention to both the road and the gauge at the same time. Like, it's not that it's not that straightforward. So I will say it's a little distracting, or I'm not used to using it, but I still like to have it on the trip one. But another thing that I didn't really actually know about is that it tells you what gear you're in. And I know like that's probably not that big of a deal, but it's nice to know like, oh, okay, I'm in 6th. I don't need to switch gears again. Or maybe I need to switch downshift, or maybe I need to upshift. But the car isn't that loud. Like it's fairly loud when you turn it on, but when you're just driving, especially if you have the windows down, you can't really hear. So, you know, I can't gauge based off of sound where I'm at, or I just simply forget, or maybe I'm just not tuned to or accustomed to what that's supposed to be yet. But it's nice to just be able to look at it and say, oh, okay, I'm in 6th, I have to do nothing. Or, oh crap, I'm in 4th, I need a, you know, I'm probably revving too high, let me shift up. And so that is a nice thing. I will say that for some reason it doesn't always tell you when you're engaged. As far as like, I could be in 6th gear, but it won't say I'm in 6th gear until, you know, a couple moments later. Like, it's not like it takes a minute. I would say maybe a couple seconds, that it doesn't always automatically tell you where you're at. The whole turn signal thing where you have to hold it, I still don't even really know what's different about it, but I have figured out how to use it. Like, now it's easy. So if you click it once up, it'll just blink 3 times. So anytime you're gonna do a quick movement and you know you don't need it on, like, I'll tap it and it'll turn off, right? If I know, you know, if I'm at a stoplight, then I'll hit it and it'll stay that way. And then after a while, you know, I'll go ahead and merge, and because it wasn't a big turn, it's not gonna turn off on its own, so I know to put it down. So that did take about, I wanna say 3 weeks to fully understand how to do it. That's actually the first time I've vocally said what had to be done. I couldn't really explain it, and so I'm glad I've gotten over that part. And yeah, so like the buttons on the actual steering wheel, still very useful. I have yet to use the cruise control. I have yet to use the assistant guy here, or the source, or the pickup call, end call, just because I can reach over it really easily and push it there. But the whole volume up, volume down, track left, track right, you can forward, you can rewind. It'll only do that, I think, on like specific apps. Like if I try to do that on my YouTube app, it won't do it, but it'll do it for Spotify. I'm sure it'll do it for Apple. And so, you know, it doesn't work all the time for everything. So now I kind of want to get more into things I didn't know about the car that I have figured out as I've been using it. So number one is, I know, and if you haven't seen my first 2 videos of me reviewing the car, I think I'm drastically way more educated than I was when I got it. So one thing that I didn't know, and that I didn't know would be so useful, is that this key that's in my pocket right now, you don't actually need to have it out at all, ever. I was so used to doing the key. So again, I come from a 2010 Nissan Sentra, and of course you got to put, it still had the key fob, you know, you had to put it in, turn it, you got to put it into the ignition, turn it. But with this, if you're close enough to the car and you put your hand over the door handle, like you just, you know, like, I guess like touch the other side of the doorknob of the door handle, it will beep, it will unlock. And that's awesome because you don't have to take your keys out. So for instance, for me, I go to the gym every morning, I have my keys in my bag, and I don't have to take them out at all. I just, you know, I leave them in a bag, I open the door, I get in, I can push the car to start. I don't ever need to mess with having the key out. There was one instance where, you know, I opened the car, I put my bag in, but somebody parked next to me and they had to get into the driver's seat. So I closed the door, and I opened the trunk, I closed the door, and I left my bag in here, so my keys were in here, and I was like, oh crap, I just locked myself out of the car. And so I was starting to think like, oh, there's probably a way to get in from the back of the car. But luckily, you know, I went to the driver's side, passenger side to try to open it, and it didn't open. I was like, I'm screwed. Like, I'm literally gonna have to call somebody to bring my keys. And so, but luckily when they left the car and I came back to this side, the driver's side, it just opened. So it never locked itself. And so that whole thing, I'm still kind of getting used to, because I don't understand. So let's say my car's on, right? For instance, this morning, I had my car on when I left my apartment, and I forgot my protein shake in my apartment. So I was like, all right, let me just park right outside the apartment, and can I leave this thing running and take the key inside with me? And so I did do that. My apartment's really close to the, you know, the doorway or whatever. So I was able to go in, not turn the car off, but still take my key. The car ran. So I don't know if like there's a certain distance that it'll turn off. When I came back in, it did say, you know, no key detected. So I'm pretty sure nobody was able to drive it, like move it around without the key here. But that's something that I'm not aware of fully yet. But I mean, I really love that, like having, it's so small, but it does, you know, it's like a 0.008% improvement in life. Like, I don't have to constantly grab the key, put it in my pocket, put it in the ignition, turn the car off, turn the car on. So like I pick up Chipotle a lot. So like, instead of having to, like, that's what I eat for lunch, like a lot. Instead of, and I do online ordering. So instead of having to, you know, park the car, turn off the keys, put them in my pocket, lock the car, go over there, get the thing, open the car, turn the car back on, put the keys back up, whatever, I can just literally step out, get it, step back in. Like, it's very small, but like, it actually is nice. Like, it's these little things I never thought of, because they're so regular, they were so regular to me, that are the, you know, the smallest improvement in life, but you can appreciate it, you know? So that's one thing I didn't know about the key, that it'll automatically open your car. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, but like, you can hold the button to pop the trunk in the back. Huge W. Like, I'm not used to just having that open up. My previous trunk didn't have the automatic lifter thing, so you actually had to always like dig. It was broken, so you actually had to like dig under it and like prop it up in order to get that to work. So, you know, the highway drive is super easy. I've only had to use the windshield wipers once, I believe, and they were as far as like the water part, this thing. So that's pretty cool. Now it's the second time I use it. The windshield wipers are great. I'll still complain a little bit about this area down here where I have my phone. It's not big, okay? So like, it's very annoying to, once I get the Bluetooth thing for the Apple CarPlay, maybe that'll solve that issue. But you know, it's hard. You can't just grab your phone. Not that I would grab it now, but like, if I'm at a stoplight, you have to like work the wiring around. Okay, so that's a little annoying. But another thing that's really cool about the car is, and again, it's very small, but like having these two cup holders is great. I saw some people complain about it. I don't understand why. Another thing I saw people complain about was the uneven left armrest and the uneven middle armrest. And you do notice it. I will say you do notice it, but for me, like I think I'll complain about it maybe twice I've done it, and you just get accustomed to it. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna have my arms out where both my elbows are resting in the same height. I'm also not that big of a dude. I guess if you're like much bigger than me, I'm 5'7" and something. If you're much bigger than me, I could see why your hands would be all over the place, or your arms. But for me, like, I'm usually like either in the middle, like my hands are on my lap, or when I say the hands, I mean my lap, or I do put it on the left hand side. But like usually I'm just chilling. Like, it's really not a big deal. I haven't found that to be a big detriment or anything. But back to the cup holder thing, there is a cup holder here on the left hand side of the passenger window, and believe it or not, it is super useful. And here are instances where it's useful. So like in the morning, you know, I'll have my protein shake, and I also bring like another type of drink, like a Liquid Death or a Gatorade, so that these two slots are taken. And so whenever, you know, I have my pre-workout, I have somewhere to put it. Like it's small, like it's so small, you know, I could just throw it on the chair, but it is useful. And I think when you have all these things built into the car that are not just there for no reason, they're there for a reason, and then you feel that reason, like it just makes that experience so much better, especially when you didn't know it was there. Like, I didn't really know that was I didn't buy the car for the cup holder, right? But the cup holder is there, and it is effective, and it is useful. Like, it's amazing, it's great. And so that's another thing that I didn't know, really. And I think other than that, I think I'm up to speed with what I'm at with the vehicle. I still thoroughly enjoy driving the vehicle. The Subaru WRX 2022 premium trim, and it's now 2023, so you know, this is an old model for you know, it's the new year. But overall, I'm super happy with the car. The AC is great. This whole infotainment system is great. I really don't have anything negative to say about the infotainment. Like, again, when I saw the reviews and I heard people talk about it, like, that's one of the downfalls, that the armrest things are a downfall. I don't really see that a downfall. It's a smooth ride. Like, it's not that aggressive unless you're, you know, slamming it. It's not that aggressive. It's not very loud. And you know, the color I got, the magnetite gray, it's not you know, that itself is not very loud. So I really like the very, you know, I'm a 33-year-old dude. I'm not trying to be like, personally, I'm not like, oh, look at my car, look, it's so fast, or it's so cool. Like, I personally do think that about my own car, but I don't want to like announce that all the time everywhere I go, personally. Obviously, if that's what you're looking to do, by all means. But personally, I feel really comfortable, you know, driving places and showing up, and I just like that it's low key. And I think that's all I have for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any tips for me, any information would be appreciated. Criticisms are appreciated, even about the video. I know some people said that I got like an ADHD thing, and I don't think that's true. I'm just excited sometimes on camera. But either way, I appreciate all the views, all the comments, and the subscriptions. So thanks again. Peace.